I think we're live. Hey, welcome to this week's training. Here we are in the Retire Early Through Real Estate Investing group. And Joanna here, popping in to say hello, get your weekly check-in, see where you're at, where you're going, and what do you need help with. That's why I tune in here, just to make sure that you have a live person to chat with, right? And many more things. My experiences, my things that I've come across either recently or my students have come across recently, just to help you guys get to that next level. So those of you that know me know I'm heavily into developing who you are as a person. Always it helps with phone conversations, because I know that phone can feel like 1,000 pounds when you pick it up to call to a broker or a seller. What do I say? How do I do it? You know, people get stuck in that. So this current frame low is too low. I don't know how to set the rate to 15 to 60 lower quality. Okay, Facebook's telling me that you can't see me that well. Type in the comments if you could see me okay. Let me know. And hear me okay. Say hashtag live or hashtag replay, those tuning in, and then where you're from. I'm going to move, because it still says it's live. I'm going to move it forward. So hopefully you guys get this live stream and we're good to go. But basically, you know, I'm here every week with mindset, money, creative real estate investing strategies, whatever it happens to be that particular week. Today we're all about mindset. I'm excited to share the Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. It's a book that I've just recently completed, and some things that I took from it were just, I had to share, because it's everyday life. It's every person. It's everything. You're not void of these particular things that he talks about. So if you haven't gotten the book Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson, please jump in. I'm always on the audios or reading books every single day. I set aside time to sharpen my saw, right? To exercise the mind, not just my body. But there's some points that I want to share here. And he goes over the David and Goliath story, you know, the giant and the little guy trying to slay the giant, and what those giants are in your head. I think this needs to be plugged in. Maybe that sounds better. Here we go. Maybe it'll be happier. Thank you, Facebook. I'll print that. Okay, cool. And, you know, what are your giants, right? A giant is a real and completely overwhelming obstacle that you encounter when you're trying to reach your dreams, when you're trying to, you know, make the phone calls, you're trying to research property, you're trying to, whatever goal you're trying to reach, there's usually obstacles in your way. You know, maybe the kids are screaming in the background, maybe the phone rang, maybe, I don't know, the power went out. I've had that happen too. Excuse me. But overcoming a giant, it's not always easy, right? So it comes, again, from the biblical story, David and Goliath. You guys know that story. The author states, it takes more than courage, wisdom, and trust, and endurance to slay, right? Sometimes you'll need like one miracle after another just to succeed. Like, you see them as miracles because you've been trying so freaking hard. And each giant is unique to your circumstances and your needs. So let's give me an example of a giant, Joanna, right? A giant is like let's say it's resources. You don't have resources to find properties, or to know what to say to the seller, or to get out of analysis paralysis and run the numbers, to making connections and creating opportunities to make happen, right? It's critical if you don't need it, right? If you don't get these resources, you can't advance. And therefore, there's no solution. And this is where most people give up, right? Most people will give up if they don't have, you know, someone to tell them what to do, someone to, you it's not an easy game, real estate investing, or any dream that you have, any, the Olympians out there. It's not, it didn't happen overnight for them, right? They had to get resources. They had to connect. They had to, there's so many things. Maybe another example of a giant is systems. You don't have systems in place, or there's bureaucracy in what you're trying to do. People that mean to help you, but they sabotage you, or they're working against you. I've had that happen to me. Like, they projected to help me, but they actively were working against me. And so I had that as a huge giant at one point. Maybe it's a racial thing. Maybe it's a social prejudiced thing. Can't even say the word. It makes it seem like everything is so out of reach because, right? We all have a but or a because, right? I cannot speak today. Intimidating circumstances, things that are beyond your control. And I did have a student at one time that just like had a birthday every single weekend. He was a big family, and I'm like, you're not going to get anywhere if you're constantly at a birthday party. Like, you have to make time for your business, but yet you don't want to not be with your family, right? So he had a big choice to make on that. So your circumstances could control your dream, right? The success of your dream. An example he uses is you have something in New Jersey, but your husband gets a transfer to Tokyo, right? Or you can't pursue your dream because you must care for an invalid family member. Maybe something happened that you need to take care of them, and you don't have the free time anymore. Maybe it's a giant that you have is spiritual or physical. I know that one of my giants is my knees are just horrible. So it's a physical crushing burden on me that it limits my exercise and my dream to be more physically fit. So I do what I can. It's minimal, but it does crush me, right? So I have to get beyond that mental stopping ground in order to get any exercise in, right? Or sudden illness, an addiction even. Some people have addictions, like they're addicted to video games on their phone, right? Or drugs, if you want to get right down to it, or anything. They're addicted to shopping. They're addicted to not doing the right thing, right? It keeps them from moving forward. Addictions do. So take a moment and see like what the giants are that you are facing, and like write them down. Like think of what you've slayed in the past. So in the past, I've had to slay giants that, I'm a woman, that I didn't have any real estate experience when I started, that I didn't know how to talk to anybody. I was a wallflower. Those are huge giants for me. Like, you're not going to network if you're a wallflower in the back of the room, 300 people there, and you didn't talk to one, or maybe one, right? I just was winging it when I talked to sellers and when I talked to other realtors and brokers. Just kind of being, I was nervous as heck, don't get me wrong, but just trying to be out there, right, was a huge, I would sweat. It was horrible. I would just sweat. Am I saying the right thing? It was a huge giant for me. But take a moment and think about those times when you've had to slay a giant, to maybe you just had a kid, right? You had to slay so many giants about having kids. Or you just bought a house. You had to slay so many giants about the right timing to buy a house. Maybe you joined the military and you had to slay those giants of your family saying, no, don't do it. Like, how did you do them? How did you get past them? Like, think of those successful moments in your head and write them down, right? Because it doesn't matter what it was, is what I'm trying to get to. It doesn't matter what it was. It matters that you got past it. Think of a huge obstacle that you got past, and how did you do it? A lot of it was your belief right? A lot of it was your belief in yourself, in God, in the thing in front of you, in whatever it was, right? You had to have belief. And then you had to have a visualization of it actually happening. It makes a huge desire for you to want it, right? And so this is how, like, David, he saw the end picture, like what he's going to do. He rushed at Goliath with I think it was a slingshot and a rock, right? To take down this huge giant that nobody thought he could, right? Nobody thought he could. So if you don't have belief that you can get past your giants, you won't. And this is where a lot of people stay stuck. They're like, oh, I can't. You could do it, Joanna, because you have experience. Well, how did I get there? Like, you could do this, Bob, because you are a mechanic. I don't know anything about cars, right? Like, or whatever your belief is about something, that is what it is. It is what it is, they say, right? You have to believe that there's a way. So Henry Ford said, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, well, then you can't. Whatever it is, you're right. Whatever it is, you're right. Okay? So think of, the Olympics just happened, or is happening, and I was watching the bobsled, the chick that went from Canada to U.S. What a great story. Olympians, they have to believe, right? They got a huge belief system, and the biggest thing that they do is they visualize the end result. They visualize themselves at practice. Gymnasts flipping on the bar, doing what they're doing. They see themselves doing it and completing it perfectly every time. So these are like the top of the food chain people of mindset changers, right? It's a lot of mindset to do what they do. Of course, a lot of physical, they have to build that physical part of it. But if all they had was the physical part of it and not the mental part of it, they wouldn't be in the Olympics. They would not be in the Olympics. Their physical part of it is a byproduct of their mental capacity, right? Their discipline of it. So even if you just did like a quarter, a half or a quarter of their type of discipline and applied it to what you wanted to do, like really mastering real estate investing, right? Being a full-time real estate investor, getting the assets that you want, really just putting forth those things. You have to work on the mindset. And it only starts when you're ready. You can't just, I'll do that. Yeah. There's a huge mindset shift that needs to happen, especially when you're doing creative real estate investing like I do. How do you know how to turn that conversation over to the seller? How do you know how to say, let's do seller financing, or let's do a subject to? Like, most sellers don't even know what that is or why they should do it. They're just afraid of something different and say no. So how do you get them to say yes? Right? So it's a whole mindset shift. Most people think they should just do all cash offers, and I don't have cash, so I'm not going to do real estate investing. Poor mindset. Poor mindset. Let's look at the Olympians that spent, at least 4 years, if not their entire lives, planning for that moment, right? The one gal who just put on speed skates, I think her name was Kimberly. I hope I didn't trash that one. She just put on speed skates in 2016, and she just won a gold medal as the #1 speed skater, women's speed skater. She's the first Black African American. I got the chills all over me. I'm so excited for her and proud. It was a mind shift she had to make. They showed her getting on the ice in 2016 for the very first time, and she was like, she was all like, barely could stand up on the ice. And she just won the gold medal, right, for speed skater. Just gives me the chills from head to toe to see that she did that. Because we all have to start somewhere, right? the bobsled, Kaylee Humphrey something or others. 3 minutes there, like gold medalist. 3 minutes to a gold medal. No. It took her entire life. It took training. Everything she did in her life led up to this moment. She has been slaying giants her entire life, right? For those 3 minutes to get the gold. Her next gold, right? I think it's the third one or fourth one she has. 4 minutes for the figure skaters, 3 minutes in the wrestling, like, pick your sport, whatever. But they had to have faith and belief. Faith and belief, right? That means you need to face your fears and take action. Action, courage, risk, and sometimes humiliation. You got to walk through it, right? It may take like 3, 5, or 40,000 times to even get it done. So 1,000 times it took Thomas Edison to do the light bulb, to invent the light bulb. I think I wrote this down here. It says, his teacher said he was too stupid to learn anything. He was fired from his first 2 jobs as a non-productive, as an inventor. So 1,000 unsuccessful attempts at doing the light bulb. Can you imagine? Most people give up after the first time or the first 7 times they screwed up. They'd go, it must not be for me. Or I've made my 7th call on a property. They said no, there must not be any properties available. Can you imagine being that baby, trying to walk for the first time? If they gave up on the first, I fell down, so I'm just not going to do it anymore. You got to learn to walk, right? So that's the mindset that it's bringing forward here. Like, how many giants do you need to slay to get to where you want to go? What's his name? The KFC, the chicken guy. He didn't get his break until he was 65 years old. Can you believe that? 65 years old. There's so many different people. Steve Jobs and Mary J. Blige. Snoop Dogg was just on the Super Bowl, right? And he didn't get his start. His resource, his giant, was he didn't have the resources, just like I was saying earlier. And Dr. Dre ended up being his resource. And, giving him an arm up, a leg up, a hand up, whatever you want to call it, a stogie up, whatever. But it takes getting a mentor. It takes getting the resources. Maybe the mentor could lead you to the resources. Jay Lopez, same thing. Mary J. Blige, I think she was singing karaoke when she was discovered, right? And she's done so much with her life. It takes a lot to get in front of a microphone and start singing karaoke in a public place, or even just being a speaker, right? So, or just picking up the phone and calling a seller or a broker. It takes a lot of, sometimes you sweat a little bit, sometimes things happen, but we all have the same 24 hours in a day. What are you going to do with it? Turn off the TV, shut down your phone, limit the mindless activities so that you can be more productive, right? Increase the action, the faith, the belief, the courage, right? The vision that you'll be a successful real estate investor, that I will master my money, that I will close on this deal, that person's going to answer the phone. Like, you really have to visualize this. It works. I'm just saying because it works. Be positive. Think positive, right? The universe is listening, and it needs to know what to do for you. So you need to plan it. Tell the universe what you're doing. Tell God what you're doing. This is my plan, and you'll be guided, right? And don't think just because someone hung up on you or was rude to you or you didn't get a deal right away that it's not right for you. You just need to slay the giant that keeps getting in your way to get the deal done. So I hope this was helpful to you guys for your mindset. You can do anything if you set your mind to it. Your mind, if given the time, like meditation, right? If given the time, if you could sit and journal and give your mind the time. It will figure out a way. It will figure out a way. Maybe this is the question I need to ask Joanna. Maybe this is the mentor I need. Maybe this is the type of property I should be looking for. Maybe this is the way I should talk on the phone, right? Like, journal those things out. Your mind will figure out a way to do it. You could be sitting in front of resources and not even know it, that will catapult you to the next level, like Dr. Dre did for Snoop Dogg. So again, I hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys next week. You have questions, type value in the comments if you got value. And of course, DM me if you have anything that you want to personally discuss. Any deals coming down the pike, happy to help you understand the deal. And then I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.